Hello and welcome. I'm celebrity and royal portrait photographer Rory Lewis, and today we're going to be talking about my 5 top tips to create the most perfect portraits. For the past 15 years, I've worked with many of the world's most recognised faces, from Sir Patrick Stewart to Sir Iain McKellen, Dame Judi Dench, and many, many more. And please subscribe if you want to see more content like this, behind the scenes videos, top tips, teaching, then please subscribe below. We'll be looking at 2 behind the scenes videos from celebrity portrait photo shoots with James Purefoy and Margolis. Tip number 1, compelling subjects. You need to go out there and find interesting faces to photograph. For me, portraiture is all about capturing history, capturing historical people. The first person to do this, the first person to do that. That's my impetus in terms of portraiture and the subjects I wish to capture. For you, it could be something different. You may be interested in sports, you may be interested in something else and want to capture that for your own portfolio. One of the most interesting sessions of my career was with Deborah Penny, who was the first transgender soldier to transition in the British Army. She told a compelling story, she gave me some interesting details on her life, and we captured that in a portrait. And from the sitting, the portrait won the Portrait of Britain Prize in 2018. It also was acquired by the National Portrait Gallery. So I know what I'm talking about. Compelling subjects make interesting portraiture. What I'm saying to you is defy convention. Just don't photograph what everyone else is photographing. Find interesting subjects with stories, with tales, people who've inspired you in your own community, in your own family. Find interesting stories. Here's my second tip, inspiration. To understand photography and understand portraiture, you must develop an understanding of fine art. If I take you back to the Middle Ages and you came up with an original idea, if you didn't reference the Bible or Aristotle or the greats of that period, no one would take you seriously. In the realm of portraiture, I find myself looking at artists such as Caravaggio, Titian, Ribera. These artists give me an understanding of light, an understanding of direction, an understanding of themes in portraiture. For my session with Margolis, my inspiration came from Caravaggio. I looked at St. Francis in Meditation, painted in 1604. As you can see, the lighting, the direction, the solemnity of the portrait, these are all the themes that I wanted to capture. For my session with James Purefoy, I looked to Titian. I wanted to capture James as this tired warrior, a warrior putting his sword down, contemplating all his deeds. In coming up with these ideas, it takes time. It takes inspiration. So take a look at my recommended list of books below. As you can see, Titian, Caravaggio, Ribera, all these names appear. Now let's look at my third tip, breaking the ice. Breaking the ice is very important. Many of my sitters come into the studio with no idea how to act or how to perform in front of the camera. It's important to sit down, talk about their day, crack a joke, have a cup of coffee. This enables the tension to fall and also enables the subject to open up more to your camera. For my sessions with both James Purefoy and Margolis, we enjoyed a cup of coffee and we spoke about their latest projects and movies. Then we discussed my ideas for the photo shoot, and then we created a rapport and were able to achieve amazing portraits. Tip number 4, lighting. For me, lighting is only 20% of the photo shoot, and this is going to bring me to tip number 5 very shortly, which is direction, and I believe direction is 80% of the job. Many of my portrait sittings don't take place in a studio. If I'm very lucky, I'll get to work in a studio. However, most of the time, I'm photographing people in their offices, apartments, hotel rooms, army bases, gyms. It can vary. Using a studio can actually become a luxury. Because I'm always on the move, traveling to New York, Los Angeles, London, Amsterdam, for me, portability is very important. Everything needs to fit neatly into small cases. I utilise Peli air cases as they are durable and enable my equipment not to get broken in the hold. Also, I like Lastalite products. Lastalite are collapsible and easily transportable. For lighting, for backdrops, these are key to my work. Lighting wise, it's Profoto for me every time. The Profoto B10 is an amazing piece of kit, enabling me to place it in my Peli case easily, use it portably with no wires, especially if I'm on location. The Profoto B10 wins every time. On my sessions with James Purefoy and Margolis, you can see I'm only utilising 1 or 2 lights. This is all you need. To me, it's all about keeping things simple. The modelling lamp is very important. It enables you to see the picture before you take the picture. Use the modelling lamp to direct your subjects and see the shadows and the highlights. These are very important. I'm going to tell you a word, chiaroscuro. It means light to dark. It's an Italian phrase that was utilised by Renaissance artists. So chiaroscuro is of optimal importance. The modelling lamp will enable you to see the chiaro and the scuro and shape the light perfectly. My top light shaping tool is a shoot-through umbrella, and this is what I recommend that you start off with. If you're a beginner trying to learn lighting, then a shoot-through umbrella is the most ideal tool. My session here with Margolis, you can see how the shoot-through umbrella is an ideal portrait photography modifier. It shapes the light around the subject. You can move it around the subject, creating different forms and styles of lighting. I'm using a black reflector to enhance the shadows and just a very simple backdrop. Most of my sittings are captured in this way, keeping it simple, lighting, and just using simple points of direction. On my session with James Purefoy, I'm using just a very small Octa softbox. This just enables me to shape the light just on one side of James's face. On the opposite side, I'm using a snoot cone just to bring out the highlights and also just to not make the shadows too intense. So in keeping the lighting simple, we're now going to move on to our 5th and final top tip, direction. For my sitting with Margolis, as I mentioned, my inspiration came from Caravaggio, St. Francis in meditation. I wanted to capture Mark in this meditative state, just moving slowly, twisting and turning, just to create the energy. The energy is very important in portraiture. For James Purefoy, it was all about making him look like the tough guy. Tough. Even though he was doubting, he looks tough, he looks like he's going to move, he has energy and movement and flow in the pictures. It's all about the eyes. Everything is about the ocular. As you could see, I was using my hands to direct James's eyes one way or another to create this energy, this movement in your portraits. Electricity is important. Direction, movement. I like to direct quickly. In some instances, my subjects will even forget. They will just move and act and move and act, and this creates that energy, that powerful portrait, and it's very important for yourselves. Direction, direction, direction is the key. And if you develop an understanding into fine art, if you look at chiaroscuro, look at shadows, look at highlights, look at emotions, look at feelings, in some instances, just use your common sense. If you feel like this, if you feel like that, try and project those emotions onto your subjects, and thus you will create these powerful, energetic portraits. If you want to subscribe to more content, please subscribe below. I'm going to be creating more videos detailing more photo shoots, apertures, f-stops, how to use certain modifiers, certain lighting equipment. So please, please, please subscribe. I also offer mentoring, and in addition to that, you can also subscribe to my online workshop. The details are also below. Please leave a comment and a like, and I look forward to seeing you soon.